everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be going over the top 5 culture shocks for any Americans or from any other part of the world that are traveling to Europe. These are just the 5 things that I could think of that I think you guys would find interesting that are completely different in Europe that we are not used to in America. So let's get right into the video, guys. Number 1, and this is not everywhere in Europe, but it is common in Europe as opposed to America, is that you pay for water. So you pay for water, and also you don't tip oftentimes your waiters. Again, this is not everywhere, so make sure you check where you're at. But in a lot of places in Europe, you don't tip and you pay for water, which in America, I don't think I've ever paid for water unless you're getting a water bottle, and also you tip absolutely everywhere. There's not a single state that you don't tip as far as that I'm aware of. So those are very, very different, which also you have to put into your budget, because keep in mind you're going to be paying for water all the time unless you are drinking sink water or something of that sort. But as far as drinking water at restaurants, a lot of times it is going to be added in. It is typically like €1, so it's not super expensive, but it does add up over the long term. Also, in their water, something that I wasn't used to is that they don't put ice in the water ever. Like never, ever, ever. Even if you pay for water, they just bring you still water. They don't actually ever put ice in it. In fact, I don't think one time so far on this trip they put ice in it unless you specifically ask for it. So that's something else that we wouldn't be used to in America, because they always put ice in the water. Number 2 is that in most bathrooms they have these amazing, glorious things called bidets. I genuinely love bidets. I don't know why we don't have them in America. I always say that if I build my own house, I'm getting a bidet in my bathroom installed. It's basically like a little sink that's next to your toilet, and you use it to wash your bottom area if you ever need to, if you're having your time of the month or after you go to the bathroom. It's basically just a cleaner way to clean yourself down there in that area, and it can also be used for your feet or whatever else you want to clean. It's so convenient. I genuinely don't understand why we don't have them. They're so easy to build and make. So like, I'm advocating for America to put bidets into our normal life because I think we need them. I love them. Number 3, and this is not everywhere in America, but I will say I am from Florida, and in Florida specifically, and I know a lot of other states are like this, we don't use public transportation. We usually just drive cars. But in Europe here, public transportation is so often used, in fact way more than cars, and in fact over cars people will walk or bike. So it's basically the last option to take a car, which is crazy because in the US, wherever I've been, if you don't have a car, see ya, you're not getting anywhere, you know. But in Europe they use buses, trains, metros, subways, bikes, anything, scooters, over using cars, which I think is a huge change, because someone like me who's never used public transportation in that way, it's very difficult at first to get your bearings of how to use all of the systems because they're extensive and very confusing. But I also think it's so much better because first of all, you don't have to pay for a car or gas or anything like that. Also, it saves so much traffic because most people don't have cars. They just use public transportation. So that's like 1,000 cars that aren't driving on the highway. In Tampa, we definitely need that. It gets busy over there. So I wish that was more of a thing. Also, the walking and biking. People in Europe are much healthier typically because they're exercising so much, and that's not something that's possible in America because things are more spread out, whereas here everything is kind of concentrated. But I really wish that that was a thing in America as well. Number 4, and this is a big one if you've been to Europe, is that people here love to smoke cigarettes. That it is constantly everywhere. In America, I feel like, at least where I've seen in my experience, is that cigarettes are kind of slowly fading out. People do oftentimes vape, but cigarettes haven't been a thing there in quite a while. It's slowly fading out, and you can see that by young people aren't doing it as much. But here, cigarette smell is everywhere. Like, part of Europe to me smells like cigarettes because you walk down the street, there's cigarettes there. You walk down, there's cigarettes on the floor. There's young people, old people, middle-aged people. Everybody is smoking cigarettes. Like, and they allow cigarettes a lot of times in buildings and places where we would not in America, where you can only smoke outside. So cigarettes are very prevalent in Europe. It's crazy. It honestly feels like they're behind a little bit with the cigarette thing, because in America I feel like we're slowly getting past that phase, but here they're very much still full on into cigarette smoking. Last but not least, number 5, and that would be siesta. And the reason I put it in quotes is because I don't know if it's called that other places that is not Spain, but every country I've been to so far, so France, Switzerland, Spain, Italy, all those places, during the middle of the day from like 2 to 6, everything closes down. You can't find food, restaurants, shops, anything. So everything is closed down for the middle of the day, which can be a good thing. If you live here, you get to obviously go home, relax, take some time to yourself, take a nap maybe. But if you don't live here and you're traveling, siesta can really mess with your eating schedule, your shopping schedule. For example, sometimes we travel during the mornings and it'll be like 4 hours to travel. We'll get here at like 2 and we're starving, but everything is closed. Like, you cannot find a single restaurant, and oftentimes if there is a restaurant open, they're only serving drinks, no food. So do plan if you're going to be traveling to bring snacks with you or something like that, because things do close, and make sure you plan around in your travels the time to go shop or do anything like that, because everything is going to be closed from around 2 to 6 in most of the countries that I have visited so far. These are the top 5 culture shocks that I think everyone from America would be surprised or find crazy when they come to Europe. If you guys enjoyed this list or have any more to suggest down below, let me know down below. Leave a comment, like the video, subscribe guys, please. We're so close to 1,000. I feel like this last 200 has been like a slow crawl, but we're getting there guys, so subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.